Pam Bondi, I want to call for the immediate investigation and prosecution of Brian Kilmeade of Fox News, who on September 10th said the following. Okay, he said, give me a second, guys. I'm like moving back and here we go. Okay, this is what he said. They were talking about the homeless problem. And he interjected and he said, or involuntary injection or something, just them. Okay, so he is calling for the targeted.
Hillary Clinton was right when she stated, you people are a bunch of deplorables. Okay, because there is no excuse for Brian Kilmeade from Fox News to indicate that homeless people should be unalived because, organized, he said, because they're homeless.
White privilege is the Fox News anchor having to apologize for saying that the homeless should be euthanized, whereas the Washington Post fired Karen Attiah, a black woman, for using Charlie's own quote with no other commentary.
Tell me this is not true, y'all. You want to tell me the same people that are literally getting other people fired for reciting the very words Charlie Kirk said himself, they are the very people coming on Fox News giving the solution to eradicating homelessness is to take those people down, as in them. Yeah? And these are the same people that are talking about humanity and empathy? I mean, the same people that were excited about feeding people to alligators after they established alligator Alcatraz? Are these the same people that are pro-life? Others are reciting the words of Charlie Kirk himself and they get fired. Meanwhile, these people still have a platform. At this point, I understand completely why Americans are upset, concerned, and scared. Because you're living with humans, or these are wolves closed in a sheep's whatever skin. If you see my eyes failing, just know I'm as well exhausted and sick and tired of being sick, of looking at some of these people and their hypocrisy. But yo, welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you as always to all of you that support me and my members. You guys do me amazing. We have an episode of where a Fox News reporter actually gave a solution to, eradicating or getting rid of homelessness by lethal unaliving them. And meanwhile, it didn't even take 48 hours and homeless shelters or encampments were mass pew-pewed. We have to watch this come back and talk about it. These are reactions of Americans, and they are literally demanding for this man to be fired from his job. Let's see if this will work. Watch this with me. Credit goes to all the creators. We'll come back and talk about this. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something.
Yeah, Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right. I would say this. We're not voting for the right people. In North Carolina,
I just want to give you guys an example of how completely unserious this administration is, okay? So Pam Bondi was on a podcast the other day, and she said, and I quote, we will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech. That's across the aisle. Okay, across the aisle. So if that's true, Pam Bondi, I want to call for the immediate investigation and prosecution of Brian Kilmeade of Fox News, who on September 10th said the following. Okay, he said, give me a second, guys. I'm like moving back and here we go. Okay, this is what he said. They were talking about the homeless problem. And he interjected and he said, or involuntary injection or something, just kill them. Okay, so he is calling for the targeted execution of a specific group of people. So then Pam Bondi, of course, MAGA freaked out on her and they were like, what the hell? Like Charlie Kirk was a free speech advocate and now you're trying to put the kibosh on free speech. Like, get rid of this lady. Okay, so then she walks it back and she says, if it involves targeting individuals in any way that echoes violence or dehumanization. Okay, so again, Brian Kilmeade still fits the definition. I know he came back on and he did some like silly little speech, but here's where I want to tie it to something. So he made that comment on the 10th. So Brian Kilmeade made the call for violence on the 10th. Pam Blondie made the comment, okay, on September 15th. And then on the same day, this man, Corey Zucadis, 36-year-old homeless man, one of the two men who was found hanging a tree in Mississippi. So I want an investigation, right? We should all call for an investigation, because who's to say that some Fox News viewer in Mississippi didn't hear Brian Kilmeade and go, bet, you're right, that's a good idea. Let's get rid of these homeless people. So this is what I'm saying. They could literally be roped in by their own language. That's how unserious these people are. I'm just presenting, when you start, right, codifying, like, okay, well, this is free speech, this is hate speech. It doesn't just work for your good, MAGA. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Circulate this around. Let's get a conversation started, because I'm sorry, because for my measure, based on what our acting attorney general just said, Brian Kilmeade is guilty of hate speech. Y'all let me know what you think.
Did y'all see what them Fox News motherfucker about the homeless people? 3 of them motherfuckers fired, because why is y'all sitting up here talking about homeless people should get a lethal injection? Like, that's cool. That shit ain't cool. Maybe you should get a injection, since you feel that way. Let's give you an injection. You act like these people ain't human beings, like these people ain't got families and people that love and care about them. And America is the reason why we got so many homeless people, because y'all don't pay people enough to be able to keep a roof over their head. And yeah, some of these people got problems. Some of these people are addicts. Some of these people have mental issues. And a lot of them are probably going to live their lives as homeless people for the rest of their lives. But those motherfuckers need to be fired for that bullshit they sitting up there talking about like that shit. They fired the MSNBC dude for stating facts about Charlie Kirk. They need to fire their ass for inciting violence against homeless people. Hillary Clinton was right when she stated, you people are a bunch of deplorables, okay? Because there is no excuse for Brian Kilmeade from Fox News to indicate that homeless people should be unalived or euthanized, he said, because they're homeless. Do you know how many veterans that have fought in your useless wars that you've lost are homeless on the street because you have no provisions for them when they come home, and have mental issues and are not able to move forward in life because of how you've trained them and discarded them? How dare you, Brian Kilmeade, talk down to people who are unhoused? Deplorable is the right word. She was right. Hillary Clinton was right, since you guys keep bringing up her name. Brian Kilmeade is a deplorable.
So some idiot on Fox News decided it was a real fun, good idea to say that homeless people, if they don't get help, or whatever that means, they should just die, right? And so guess what? Guess what happened today? Guess what happened today? Today, someone shot into a group of homeless people. I think like 8 of them are dead. Fucking.
A mass shooting at a homeless encampment in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 8 people. So do you want to rethink about how dangerous it is about attacking homeless people? Saying things like Brian Kilmeade said on Fox News with that big platform and all those viewers that are watching him? Do you have anything to say now? Anybody? Anybody gonna say anything? Shameful is what it was. And it's always, if somebody says something on the other side that you don't agree with, oh, this, that, investigate. Hate speech. What's gonna happen with Brian Kilmeade? Is he gonna get in any trouble from Fox News besides his lame apology? Everybody else saying wild behavior is getting fired. So tell me how it's not dangerous when these anchors talk about inciting violence against any demographic of people, homeless or not. And remember, there's a lot of homeless veterans. And there's a lot of, you also said something about mental illness too. People that are mentally ill. Remember, there's a lot of them that are having problems because of previous service. And some are just regular, everyday civilian Americans, but they're Americans. So do you have anything to say about that, Mr. Kilmeade, Fox News? Because just shortly after he calls for it, not saying it's his fault, no way. But after he incites and says something like that, all of a sudden now, a mass shooting at a homeless encampment. 8 people. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the chat.
Hey, do y'all remember that dude, Brian, from Fox News that said, hey, we should kill homeless people? And now it's been a couple homeless camps that's been shot up. I seen that y'all was getting people fired for making comments about certain things. So I expect to see his resignation within 24 hours. Thank you so much.
Are you tired of seeing homeless people? Yeah.
Involuntary injection or something.
That is very pro-life of him. And then they continue the conversation like Kilmeade didn't just suggest unaliving people whose only crime is not affording a house. Sure sounds like one of those post-birth abortions they accuse the left of having. And then Blondie, skirting past the whole execute the poor comment, asks,
Why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
Wages not keeping up with housing prices, funding cuts for addiction and mental health care, an increase in the unhoused elderly population. You want me to go on? But why help the poor like that Jesus guy they all say they love would do, when you could just give them all the needle instead?
Just days after a Fox News host took to national TV to state that homeless people should be unalived, we now have reports of 2 homeless encampments being mass pew-pewed. Someone decided to go to 2 separate encampments. 13 homeless people are injured, 5 in critical condition. And what's even more hypocritical about this situation is that we just had a news anchor fired for apparently saying insensitive things about Charlie Kirk's passing. Now, I condemn all political violence, and I do not think it's okay what happened to Kirk. Let me fucking state that. Let's be extremely clear on that. At the same time, the hypocrisy, the utter hypocrisy that they are fired and this Fox News anchor still has his job, even though he called for homeless people to be unalived. And as a result, because you could call it speculation, but I do not think it's a coincidence that after stating that on national TV, someone went out and committed exactly what he was asking for, the unaliving of homeless people. This is the state of the world we live in. This is the country we live in. If you think my side is perfect and the other side is the demon or the other side is evil, you are psychotic. We should be condemning violence on both sides. We should be recognizing violence on both sides and not being okay with it on either side. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You want to my...
Remember this from Friday?
Involuntary lethal action or something.
Well, since then, we've had a person in Vicksburg, Mississippi being hung, a homeless person. And then we have this. 2 mass shootings in Minneapolis homeless encampments on the same day. So Fox News, I ask again, how the does Brian Kilmeade still have a job?
3 of the victims were people experiencing homelessness, and in one case, it's led to the alleged of a man.
Just a few days ago, Fox News host Brian Kilmeade said on live television that the solution to homelessness is to involuntarily euthanize them. The criminalization, dehumanization, and blame placed on people experiencing homelessness and living in poverty is absolutely disgusting. I don't even know what times we're living in anymore where people don't even care about human life. How do you argue with that? But for anybody who has any empathy, care, or compassion left in their hearts, here are some facts. One of the primary drivers for housing being unaffordable and rents being hiked incredibly high is the financialization of housing, brought on by corporate greed. ODSP is criminally low and it traps people in a cycle of poverty. Food is more expensive than it has ever been, and grocery stores are seeing record profits year over year, while food banks continue to see record visitors every single month.
I'm still stuck on the fact that that news anchor really sat there and said, involuntary little injection, just small. Why would you say that? The other guy was saying you either take the resources or you go to jail, and then you just say involuntary lethal injection? Just small? Are you okay? What? The palm-colored ones are really showing their right now, what is going on? That was crazy.
So Brian Kilmeade, yeah, this guy, a host on Fox News, you know, Jesus' favorite news station, went on the air and proclaimed that homeless people should be forcibly euthanized. And he also said just kill. Now he's gone on to make an apology, but it may have come a little too late, as Minnesota has now had 2 mass shootings in one day at homeless encampments, with over a dozen injured. And it makes you wonder why the radical Republicans are so violent, and why are they always going after already vulnerable and marginalized groups? Why is it seems like the radical right is always attacking black people, immigrants, gay and lesbian people, the trans community, and women? They are the ultimate bully. They know that this group is a small section of the population, and so they feel emboldened just to go after them. Somebody needs to address the violent rhetoric that's happening over at Fox News. You're going after homeless people? Homeless people. As if these people don't have enough on their plate, as if they're not downtrodden enough. We have to worry about this. It's interesting how they want everybody fired on the left, But their side can go on national TV and talk about just homeless people, and that's okay. Quite the double standard that we have with the radical right Republicans, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Let's not mince words here. Brian Kilmeade, a Fox News host, a man with a massive platform and millions of viewers, went on air last week and casually suggested that homeless people should be given involuntary injection. His exact words were, he said that on national television about human beings. And now, just days later, there's a mass shooting in Minneapolis targeting a homeless encampment. That's not coincidence. That is cause and effect. That is what happens when powerful people with a large platform dehumanize the most vulnerable among us and call for violence. This is what happens when hatred is packaged as political commentary and pumped into millions of homes night after night. Kilmeade's half-assed, forced apology means nothing. You don't get to casually call for the execution of human beings and then walk it back as the blood is hitting the pavement. The right-wing media ecosystem isn't just reporting news. They are inciting violence. They label homeless people as subhuman. They call them dangerous. They suggest that they are beyond help. And then they act surprised or blame the radical left when someone takes that rhetoric literally and picks up a gun. When will it fucking end? It ends when we stop treating this as politics and start calling it what it is: domestic terrorism recruitment. It ends when we find a way to hold networks accountable for broadcasting calls to violence. It ends when we stop letting them play dumb while vulnerable people pay the price. Enough with the thoughts, enough with the prayers, enough with the empty fucking apologies after the fact. I don't have a solution, but I am fucking sick of this.
Did you know there was yet another mass shooting, this time at a homeless encampment, just days after a Fox News anchor suggested that we should execute the homeless? You know, because your words fucking matter. More than a dozen people were injured at 2 separate shootings at homeless encampments across the city of Minneapolis last night. The first shooting happened at a transit station and wounded 5 people. The second happened 2 miles away at a site where a private landlord has allowed an encampment to exist on his property as part of his activism for the homeless. They were legally allowed to be there, and 8 people were wounded. And this action, this targeting of homeless people, was promoted by Fox News. Their anchor, Brian Kilmeade, said live on air when questioned about the homelessness issue in the United States, his response was, "Just kill them." And this is the result. There is an inherent violence in speech. When you glorify people, you cannot be surprised that what you get is murdering people.
You would think this is rage baiting. You would think that this is someone that is chasing cloud. These people be meaning it from the bottom of their hearts. From the beginning of this whole administration and how they talked about cleaning Washington, D.C. Yes, they were talking about throwing these people in prisons, putting these people in rehabilitation centers, forcing them into mental institutions, pushing them on the outskirts of the... This is not rage baiting. At the core of it, this is how MAGAs feel. If you do not believe in what they believe in, you deserve to. I wish God was like that. That whoever was disobedient and just never walked in alignment, because we wouldn't have a world. We wouldn't have a planet that has human beings that are still walking on here. Because if all of us had to be walking in alignment with His will, ask yourself, are you walking in alignment with His will? Mind you, the Most High Himself does not force us to walk in alignment. And the Most High Himself knows that there are those that are okay, that are doing well, and those that are not doing well. Scriptures say that the poor will not, there won't be a day on this planet where there's not poor people. We will continue to live with them. These people want to create a picture of this world is a first world and therefore everybody is rich. Meanwhile, this is the plan that you have for these people. But then, you're the same people that are talking about abortion. Yeah? You care so much for the unborn, but you don't care for those that are born. Meanwhile, it's not me who is even trying to support this whole, thing. But the fact, the hypocrisy, my head cannot get around the hypocrisy in the MAGA camp. They are firing people for hate speech. They are using those same very and then they are getting rid of Antifa, labeling it a terrorist organization. Americans, you have every reason to be afraid. Because this is dictatorship one-on-one. One-on-one. And I'm speaking about these things because I have people that I speak to on a daily basis, maybe not daily, but they express how uncomfortable, how there's just so much tension. Yeah? Meanwhile, this man is literally brave. Do you see how brave they are? But then they want to silence everyone. I hope people demand for his. I hope he loses his job as well, just like others are losing their jobs for literally reciting the same words that Charlie said and stated. I don't even know, but this is getting crazy. So that is where you are, US, right there. Yeah. The organizations that are supposed to actually be activist organizations. I mean, I know why y'all are scared. I know why people feel like they can't live in the US anymore. The United States dream, right? The US dream, right? Is living now. Rich people are literally exiting. Even businesses are exiting. Because this is scary. This is fascism. But people are demanding that this man steps down. He faces the consequences of the hate speech as well. And Pam Bondi was talking about, hate speech. I don't know if hate speech only works when it is from the left and liberals. What they say, is not hate speech. Yo. That's America for you. I wanted to bring this. And I think what hurts the most is the fact that after he said what he said, homeless encampments, shelters, they were literally pew-pewed. A homeless man was found in the woods. And then on top of that, because they were saying white men fight back, I don't know against who. One black man gets unalived at Delta State University. And they say no foreplay. You know what? I'm not surprised, right? I'm not surprised because if they can feed you poison, don't joke with such a government. They're capable of doing absolutely anything. Because that's a business for them. The same way I would feel over here if my government woke up and they are talking about how they would. Meanwhile, they are targeting everybody that never showed sympathy to Charlie Kirk. What am I still doing here? Hopefully he loses his job because they're talking about how they're going to curb on hate speech. But I think, let me know what you guys think. Do they really mean the things they say? Are they really pro-life when they were excited about alligator Alcatraz? When they kept a black woman? I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you think in the comment section. To me, I feel like there are those that are humans and then those that need to be dealt away with. Put those thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I think I'll see you guys later. From me for today, that's it. I do love all of you. Praying for you. Stay safe out there because scary times are these. But again, don't forget they are trying to distract you from demanding justice for the black people and also for asking for the Epstein files. Yeah. Bye, y'all.